Welcome, Thorsten, to the Data Science Conference Europe 2022 in Belgrade. It's a great privilege and honor to have you here.
Thank you.
So, as a founder, director of Amaze, could you go a bit into the people behind the games presented by the Amaze Festival and the platform that's going on for more than a decade now?
I mean, from the perspective of the professionals or the artists, they're between 18 and 32 or 35. So I'm basically the oldest, I guess, with 50. But yeah, I mean, they're coming from different kind of fields. So some of them were at academies or universities, studied art or digital art, or academies, game academies to learn how to make level design or also how to create games, be a game designer, or just like a programmer. And it's a mix of people. So they're interested in creating a new digital culture, you know, a new movement. And I think this is something what Amaze is really pushing forward to create a world what is not just product-based. Actually, we are talking about art, we are talking about works, what people have to do research for and work on, and creating a world what basically shows that games can be much more than just like a product of entertainment. It could be more meaningful. It can show something what we like to learn, because games are there for learning, right? I mean, you also teach yourself by reading a book, you teach yourself by watching good movies. And the same is like games. I mean, games are teaching you something. And I'm looking forward to see more and more people joining this community. And they are very versatile. I mean, they're as Igor, I mean, he's a filmmaker and jumped into games development. So there are theater makers who are also using now VR. And all these people are coming to the Amaze Festival and talk about creation and not about business.
You touched upon the point that games are more than just a product, and you yourself have been following this intersection of technology and art beyond the mainstream and market-oriented approaches. So what will be your observations from a decade ago when you started Amaze to more than a decade ago to now? How did this field change?
I mean, the cool part is I was there from the beginning on. And in 2008, when we started to create Amaze, there was nothing in Germany, there was nothing in Europe talking about games and art. Now we're not talking about games and art anymore because we are doing it. But still, I mean, it's a process. It's going slowly and slowly and slowly that we are also getting accepted from the industry, because I think it's very important that the people who are making arthouse games also get recognized by the industry, that they also find publishers, that they actually can sell their games and not have to self-publish. Because I think marketing power is the most important thing, what you need nowadays to be noisy and visible. But we are getting there. And this is happening over the couple of years. You know, it's building. It's also building to get accepted from theaters and opera houses and talk to artists like Michel Granger. You know, I mean, it's fantastic. He's working with us together. Suddenly, old people who are doing normal visual art now want to explore the game field, want to explore the virtual worlds, and everything is kind of, yeah, it's evolving. It's like it's never will stop, you know. I think it just can get better. So we are not more like into mobile games or something like that. We are really trying to, as Igor as well said, you know, world building is the thing, you know, and we are building worlds where people can actually experience something what they usually can't experience in their own life, maybe.
Well, that's quite an inspirational point. And expanding on your topic of arthouse games, do you think that indie and arthouse games have a bright future? And what are some of the main properties that we can see going further ahead, some of the main qualities of them?
I mean, when we started, I mean, indie games was we've been talking about it, and I mean, I discovered it at GDC, at Games Developers Conference in San Francisco, the indie scene, and I was like, oh, why don't we have something like that in Germany? And then we just created something like that. But also there was no funding system, there was nobody who was caring about it. At this time there was mobile games, and Facebook games was the big thing. And but also the risk to create a own studio, you know, and leave a company, a AAA company or whatever, a mobile game studio, and create your own studio. It was a risk. And now we have this foundation where basically you can create in Berlin or in Germany and probably as well worldwide, because we have this system. When people believe in this IP or in this kind of idea, games idea, you get funding. And also, I mean, through Kickstarter and all this kind of stuff and Patreon, you basically can do a good living out of it. And we started with indie, and it was also called Amaze Indie Connect. And then we're just thinking like, yeah, it's not Indie Connect. I mean, it's Amaze Berlin. We are in Berlin, and so it's the brand Amaze Berlin, and we want to bring people to Berlin to explore the city, also to come and maybe to create a studio in Berlin. And some people went to Amaze, and then they said, hey, Berlin is such a cool city. I definitely want to be there. I want to live here, and I want to create games here. And over the couple of years, we still have independent games at the showcase and as well in the competition. But we're pushing now to the next level. Indie games is already successful. You have AAA games that have $1 million budgets and stuff like that. And now we are on the arthouse side. Arthouse is the thing what we want to push forward. And there will be also a lot of change happening in the next 10 years.
There's quite some insights. And going a bit further on the data point, from your perspective as an artist, how do you understand the notion of data, and can data be playful?
Yeah, I mean, all kind of content can be playful. I mean, I just remember when I was at Ars Electronica a few years ago, I met an artist who is working with biology and stuff like that, with this kind of human data. And yeah, of course you can use it. You can use all the human data to actually make some games out of it. But of course it could be on one side as well scary. We have to find a kind of a good edge where basically it's ethical, also correct to use it. And I think as a festival maker, it's always fun. It's very important for us to be inclusive and diverse and so on, and be a safe space. And I think as well the games should be as well a safe space. And if not, they should have trigger warnings.
To finish off the interview, nowadays we are hearing much more AI focused on art, especially with DALL-E 2 and Midjourney. So what does this mean for creativity, and what do projects like this mean for artists in the future?
I think AI is fantastic. I mean, you can use it in a lot of ways, and you can also probably extend your creation process and also get inspired by itself. I also was asking at the panel the AI artist if there is an AI what generates actually games, and they're working on something like that. So you can put text in there, and then it's writing a code. So and basically then it's going to be a game. It's fantastic in some way, but as well I think AI can't do all these kind of gray zones. It will always give just like, I don't know, I mean, if you're a good prompter, maybe then yes, but I think it's because there's so many things between the lines always. So of how a human understands the gameplay, and also how the human understands and reads the narratives. And I think AI is not possible to do it right now. Yeah, but of course people working on it, and I like the future and everything what becomes. So I'm not scared about, and I definitely want to celebrate it when it's good.
Yeah, sure, it's an exciting time we're living in at the moment.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you for the interview, and I do hope you've been enjoying the conference.
Very much, very much.
Continue
we'll come back next year.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome to Data Science Conference Europe. My name is Thorsten S. Wiedemann. I'm Artist Director of Amaze, and let's change the world through data.